Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. We're back. We're back. I've seen Mama Tuzi. Mama Tuzi, please send in your request. Barrister Bisiri, please send in your request. I hope Sheyi Law can send his request. I hope Sheyi Law joins. You say Mama Tuzi is unable to join, no? You should not do like this, so. Oh, Mama Tuzi has joined. Great. We are waiting on Barrister Bisiri. You can join. Sheyi Law, please, where are you, sir? Please, I want people to tag Sheyi Law. Please tag Sheyi Law.
Okay, let me send it on.
Tag Sheyi Law. Please, I want us to tag Sheyi Law at Sheyi Law 1. I think it's at Sheyi Law 1. Please tag Sheyi Law. Because that story, I have already coined that story. I have coined that story. Because Ikoyi and Victoria Island may not even be what it is today anymore.
Of course.
If not for all of the work that Shiwaju did at the time. Now, real estate is booming in all those areas. And guess who are in charge of the real estate in those areas? Our brothers from the other side of the Niger. They are the ones in charge. They are the ones making money there.
Yeah.
Because I will even think that this is the first time that we have a Lagosian. If we say you are a Lagosian, because we all pride ourselves as Lagosians for the most part. This is the first time that a Lagosian is vying for, like, has a very big shot at being president. I would think we all as Lagosians are supposed to support this person. Because if that person becomes president, Lagos will benefit a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
I would think so. Please start Sheyi Law. Where is he? Because he sent in request and all of that too. Tag Sheyi Law, tag Sheyi Law, tag Sheyi Law. We need you here, sir. I want you to come and explain that story.
I think you can request him too, right? Can't you?
No, I can't. He's not on the live. He has to be on the live. Please, I want people to tag Sheyi Law. I think Sheyi Law 1 or something. Sheyi Law 1. Please tag him.
I sent it to him too. Let me send him something.
Oh,
he will come.
You know why? You know why? There was a way he explained it. Me, one day I got that thing from him. No, you know me. I got that thing from him, and I've already coined it in a certain way in my conversation. Because I went to go and look at GDP of real estate
in
Nigeria. Nigeria's GDP, real estate GDP is about 5.33%. So the thing is, like, when did that GDP begin to increase? Looking at,
I can find out that.
So that's the kind of analysis, that kind of research and analysis.
You have told me, I would have given you that information. Like,
but now I'm asking you now. So I'm like, okay, when Asiwaju started doing all of this work in Lagos State, on the island and all of that, now, how was our real estate increasing from a GDP perspective?
Exactly. I mean, if you think about it, do you want to live in a flood-prone area? My dad's office was Stallion House. Stallion House was my dad's office. And he won't even be able to go. When we have the flooding from Bar Beach like this, where you can't even get to your own office. First off, everything is even shut down because they are wearing rain boots to even cross the massive water on the road and everything. People don't even know anything about Lagos because people talking don't even know anything about Lagos. It's as simple as that. Let's put it that way. A lot of these people were either young, like very young, they were just born, or they were just 5 years old or something. They didn't really, live through Lagos like that. Or you are, or Jota last one, when you come inside Lagos, that heap of refuse that you see. Talk about health of Lagosians even then. So, I mean, there are so many metrics that you can look at back then and now that you know that you can't even, it's like comparing sleep and death. Hi, baby,
You want to say
hi.
Okay, just say
How are
hello.
you? Hi.
Hi.
All these our daughters that want to just be like, I want to see what you're doing. Yes, the traffic on Awolowo. Yes. You know, people don't see, we know it's easy. Human brain forgets easily. So we forget even things that PDP, we forgot that 2015 security money meant for weapons were shared, and the people that shared the money are now the ones coming to tell us that something is happening. This man on Arise TV, what's his name again? The one next to the one that is with
money.
That took 14 million. He's now trying to exactly, and then he's now coming to play moral grounds. Where's the moral authority for him to talk about weapons and like Nigerian army not having weapons when you were part of the people that shared the money meant for the Nigerian military forces? I mean, the fact that that's why I said human brain, the way it is, we just forget. But not everybody have amnesia. Me, I don't forget.
So, we need him here. So now guys keep talking. I'm tagging Sheilo.
No.
There's a reason why, but keep talking.
Whenever he comes, just let me know.
Yeah.
So,
but I want people to please tag him. We need him here. Because you know why? So hold on. You know what's happening today? Today we are not talking about Ashwaju did this, he did that. We are not saying we are just freestyling. We are just letting our mind.
Yeah,
for 13 weeks,
I just want to have
to hold it together. Don't show your bad.
I just want to add my 1 cent.
Release it now.
I'll probably finally finish it with a question, if you get what I mean. Okay. So what I'm saying is there's no way I'm going to vote for anyone who is inexperienced. Because
I think Baba is here. Baba is here. I have to let you go now. Mabinu, we are bringing you back.
Come back. Because I know that you and I, we always exchange stuff too in comments.
Baba is here. Baba. I want you to come and tell that story.
Let me find you. Let me find the statistics you requested.
Yeah.
Hi.
I just don't get your kind of law now. I no get to carry people.
He's a barrister. He's a barrister. What kind of lawyer are you?
I'm an unpredictable lawyer.
Well,
somewhere close to the bar, some of us own the bar.
Yeah. Okay, some of us, some of you own the bar. Okay, we let you have the bar then. No wahala.
Okay, so sir, I want to thank you very much for joining us. And actually, fortunately and unfortunately, this is like our 14th episode. We've been doing Pitch the Plan, where we talk about the manifesto from page 1 to the end. We've ransacked it. We've explained it to everyone, because it's an 80-page manifesto. It's not everyone that's going to have time to read it. But if you come on our platform, every Sunday we've been doing this. So typically you won't see us all laughing and talking and all of that like this. Like from week 1 to week 13, it's been serious business. But today, because the elections are next week, I said this is freestyle. So just say what's in your mind. And I'm glad that you came on, because I was listening to something you were saying, which I took and I use it as an ammunition when I go and speak, debate, or talk with people and engage. As regards what he did on the island. You were saying something about the only thing people knew on the island was Electoral beach. I just want to let you know that I was listening to you, sir. You said the Electoral beach. You started explaining real estate. Some people are now living in that real estate. They are controlling that real estate. So I want you to just tell us that your Ashiwaju story as regards that, sir. And if there's, because I know you talked about computer training.
Thank you very much. One of the things that Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu did that I can attest to as a person, and I'm also a beneficiary of, is the return of schools to the missionary owners.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a student at Methodist Boys High School when this particular thing happened. And one of the things that did to Lagos State government is that it helped Lagos State to reduce costs. And don't forget, a lot of people in the civil service of states have become unsackable because of the uproars that come with it. And so if governors, if you're going to cut some of these things by returning schools to the missionary owners, the schools are now being controlled by the missionary owners, and the teachers can then be, evaluated based on value and competence. And those that are not giving quality can be sacked, and new competent and qualified people can be employed. But then if it were to be in the civil service, these things are not possible. We saw what happened with El Rufai in Kaduna when he decided that he was going to sack some people.
Teacher.
One idiot here is telling me, say, collect money either by envelope or by promise. Well, it's been a long while that we've really entertained a lot of stupidity, and at this stage, we should stop entertaining them.
Yes.
Look at me right now, where I am. I'm just having a little bit of sweet time with my wife in Paris. I'm enjoying the beauty of my money in Paris. If you think it was given by a politician, so be it. If you think it is what I've worked for in my 20 years in the entertainment business, you are also equally right. But then this is not a time to entertain stupidity. Jesus walked on water, but a foolish man will say it defies science. And a foolish man will say it is a fraud. And those who are wise will say that it is supernatural and it defies science. That doesn't mean that the Bible does not appreciate science. And now, back to what I was saying. When my school was returned back to the missionary, we moved from Broad Street in Lagos Island to Victoria Island. And I was opportune to apply the Ahmadu Bello way to school almost on a daily basis. And so nobody can tell me the story of Ahmadu Bello way because I applied the road every day. And I knew the situation of that road. At some point, Nigerians were saying that it was the glass house that was opposite the Barbies that was shining light into the eyes of the Mami water. And that is why water was overflowing the bank.
I remember.
You understand me?
Yes.
That is to tell you some of the stupidity we have entertained in our lives as Nigerians. And then Tinubu came and he said, there is no Mami water here. If there is Mami water, we will reclaim land and cover Mami water with land. And maybe today, some of those Mami water are some of the girls that are standing inside Lekki Phase 1 because they have no water to stay. As land reclamation started at the Barbie houses, and today we have a beautiful road on Ahmadu Bello Way.
Yeah.
And we have one of the most choicest property or landed properties in Africa in the
15% annually. Yeah.
Today, a place where the American embassy, the United States, has decided to situate a new embassy in a project that is worth $500 million.
Yes.
$500 million.
Let people hear it. $500 million
into Lagos State economy. Into Lagos State economy.
They should hear it. $500 million. If some states can bring $500 million into their economy, that governor will be making noise and be running a scatter to want to rule Nigeria. But to Lagos State, that is a meager amount of money compared to what Lagos State can achieve and can do.
Yes.
Now, talking about that Eco-Atlantic, today, entertainers like myself will hold shows that hold over 10,000 people, including those that are shouting, you know, easy, to the and use our net to break the floor.
I'm not here. I'm not here.
They want to host show in that place. But somebody's vision brought about land reclamation in that axis and produced the choicest property in that place. And don't forget, this has also gone ahead to improve leisure and entertainment along the coastline of Lagos. And today, you have high rises along our coastline and private beaches everywhere. People go to Oniru now, they go to Landmark, they go to Good Beach. This was possible because a man decided to reclaim land in that axis. And then, because my school is in Victoria Island, sometimes we used to stop at the place called Morocco Sandfield.
I remember
used to be absolutely markets where they sell fishes and some nail shops and some petty things. Those were the things that they were selling there. But today, that Morocco Sandfield is the Oniru that a lot of people are dreaming of buying land today. That is the place that people have one house and they say, this is the inheritance for my children today. Now, when Jack Conde did the road to Ekpe, it was a 2-lane road. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu came and dualized that road. Then I remember the only reason why we had to go beyond Lekki Phase 1, not even Jack Conde, the only reason we used to have to go beyond Lekki Phase 1 was Lekki Beach, Alpha Beach, and when we pass that place, we go to Eleko Beach, which is in the Ibeju-Lekki axis. But one man with foresight decided that in Ibeju-Lekki, let us make it the new Lagos. Let us make it the smart. You need to understand, underline my words and understand my words. He said, let's make it the new Lagos smart mega city. And what are the things we are going to need to make this place a smart and a mega city? He decided that we should have a deep sea port in that area. And then he talked about making that place a free trade zone. Let's make it a free trade zone. And then let's take the Fort Milan Bridge through that axis and include the Ikorodu and all those places. And then he decide, this person, Bishop RMB, as you swear for me, now your papa, because I passed your papa.
Amen. Amen.
Now, he said, let's situate, because what I am saying is fact.
Their own intelligence, you can't get it.
So if you say what I'm saying is not true, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That what you are saying, oh, I'm saying rubbish, just prove me wrong. If you can prove what I'm saying wrong, I won't say it again. He said, let us situate it in those areas. And the moment those deals were signed with the Chinese, even Obasanjo that had issues with Asiwaju got involved, because that had to involve the government, the federal government. And the moment he said, let us do it there, the history and that community took a different turn entirely. Today, the Igbos control about 60% of real estate businesses in Lagos State. And a lot of them sell property along the Ibeju-Lekki axis. If I'm lying, they should tell me that I'm lying. Today, a lot of my colleagues that call themselves entertainers have lands around the Ibeju-Lekki axis, and that is what they pride as their future investment. But the foresight of one man made it possible. The foresight of a man made it possible. And talking about what Tinubu has done again, there is no governor, dead or alive, who has made a policy in their state that has been adopted by other states except Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I remember the revolution that happened in the justice system in Lagos. What was the revolution that happened there? In Lagos, a lot of people were going to jail and their cases were not being treated because some could not afford lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
What did Tinubu do? He worked with the Justice Ministry to create DPD, the Department of Public Defenders, that can help people fight their causes without a time. Today, when there is problem, people run to this agency to report. We OPDR, Office of Public Defense, people, now several other states has adopted it into their judiciary. Now, don't forget, traffic management was under the Nigerian police force, and safety on the road was under the Federal Road Safety Corps. Now, for a state to create a department that had that, they had to be able to understand the loophole that gives them that chance to do it. And what did Bola Ahmed Tinubu do? He got his best men to work. and they created LASMA, which was inaugurated July 15th, year 2000. Google it if I'm lying.
Fact.
Today, anybody who is in Lagos, if they remove LASMA in Lagos just for 1 day,
somebody tried it.
When they remove them from the road just 1 day, I don't need to explain what will happen. That same LASMA and understanding the loophole in government to be able to take it. Today, over 16 states in Nigeria have embraced that policy.
Their own version.
And different states now have their own version of LASMA. Why shouldn't we be able to take it national to replicate it in Nigeria? Today, LASU, before now, they used to have a medical school. Bola Ahmed Tinubu came and they created a medical department. And today, we have another teaching hospital in Lagos, which is LASUT.
Yeah, LASUT.
Because
which actually is the best.
Might not think about it. I remember I was one of the people who sensitized people about the BRT buses.
Bus rapid transit system.
Before now, we know the menace of Molue in Lagos. Today, people can get inside a bus and sit down comfortably.
And as a woman, not be assaulted as a woman.
And go to where they are going.
Yes.
You might not like what I'm saying. That might not make you want to vote Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is not my problem. My own is what he's saying true or not. People will tell me, say your family is abroad. I tell them outrightly, whether you like it or not, as you are asking me that question, can you go and ask your preferred presidential candidate, Peter Obi, why he lived in the UK with his family? If my own they best you, should I be angry with your candidate too for living in the UK? Because stupidity is not peculiar to one person. We can all decide to be stupid, but I would join you in that stupidity. Now, we talk of power generation. Don't forget that Lagos State ran into debt that they had to pay because Tinubu has gone to sign contract for independent power generation for Lagos State to have light 24/7.
With Enron.
Because power was on the federal government exclusive list. That contract had to be cancelled. And Lagos State had to pay billions of dollars because federal government did not allow it. If we can think of doing that in Lagos, we can do it nationally. He can do it nationally. Today, people will tell you that why didn't Tinubu suggest this to Buhari? That is the next thing that people say. And I asked them, have you guys forgotten that there was a time when people were rejoicing online that it is good for him? People are not allowing Tinubu, Buhari is not allowing Tinubu to see him.
Sir, I'm sorry for I know you've been speaking, so I'm enjoying you, so I'm sorry for coming in here. Remember that Dino Melaye actually threatened Senator Remi Tinubu in the upper chambers. He now even went to the street of Budilon and said, I'm on the street of Budilon. What can you do to me? They should not.
Nigeria, some Nigerians behave as if they have selective amnesia.
They do, some people.
Because they want to pretend as if they didn't see then when Tinubu was trying to advise Buhari to get it right.
Yes.
And I tell you this, we know that the vice president heads the economic committee. And this is it. The people that will surround the man that heads the economic committee must also be brilliant enough to help them achieve certain things. And don't forget, we have one of them from the Bola Ahmed Tinubu School of Thought.
Yes.
Dr. Tunde Fowler, who was in the FIRS.
And
then we have Dr. Segun Awolowo in exports. And then we have Kemi Adeosun in the Ministry of Finance. And then we have Yemi Osinbajo. Don't forget that at that time, when these 4 people were members of the economic team, dollar to naira was pegged at 360 of the black markets and the bank rates. As at December 2018, it was still at 360. But the moment Buhari got in 2019 again and thought he doesn't need Bola Ahmed Tinubu again, he sacked these people. What happened?
Yeah, all of them.
There was a free fall of the naira. There was a free fall of the naira. If only Buhari had listened and allowed the men that Tinubu selected to work with him remain, it wouldn't have been this bad. It wouldn't have been this bad. But then that aside, I say it boldly, I never voted for Buhari and I never campaigned for him. I'm not his fan. Because one of the mistakes that we can make is to elect a leader who lacks people's management. No matter how good your intentions are, if you don't have people's management, you will fail. Now, people are very quick to say that the next thing when you talk about Bola Ahmed Tinubu and how he's been able to raise people who do well, they'll say, what of Ambode? I ask them a question. Who is the man that is a politician and has no knowledge of how to balance party politics and people's politics? Who is the man that does that? The failure of Ambode was in party politics. People might not like it, but the party brought you here. You don't destroy the party because you think that you can get at one person.
Sir, hold on, sir. Let me just 10 seconds here. We're enjoying you so much. People need to understand that politics comes first, governance second, then growth and development. You must know how to play the politics right, to stay in there, to govern the people. And then you must govern people so that you can bring in the growth and development. Go ahead.
See, I was talking with somebody in the United Kingdom. And the person was supporting another candidate. And then we had a long talk. And I asked him, in the UK politics, how do you think he's going? And the person said, Boris Johnson and I fixed them. I said, oh, really? Boris Johnson, I fit them? He said, yes. I said, why? He said, he has some politics that favored the guys. Of course, I knew the policy. If you're coming to school as an international student, when you finish, you have 2 years visa to be able to work, which was stopped before Boris came and Boris reintroduced it. I said, but you know that same Boris that made that policy, that favored you, that make you want him, that make you think he's the one that fit them. Do you know that same Boris looked at the loophole in government policy and created and made some of the highest number of millionaires in the UK between the year 2020 and 2021 because of COVID? He said, really? I said, yes. The highest number of millionaires in the UK in 20 years, just within 1 year because of COVID contracts and all. He said, wow. I said, but yes, that same man is the one that fits them, right? Right. He said, I said, that's because he understands the right policies to put in place to win the heart of the people. This is one thing that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done well in Lagos. We talk of mortality rates, maternal mortality in Lagos, but people forget and don't even remember that we used to only have Abiye in Ikeja and Surulere maternity and the Lagos Island maternity. And then Bola Ahmed Tinubu came and built about 10 others to improve access to healthcare for the people of Lagos. He said, Tinubu did that. I said, Google it. What I'm telling you is a lie. But today, people don't know about that. They thought Lagos just appeared out of the cloud and started being good. And the next thing they will ask you, they will say, don't say that. Lagos State was the capital of Nigeria at one time. And I asked them a simple question. Wasn't Calabar the capital of Nigeria? Why is Tinapa no longer functioning in Calabar? Why is Obudu Resort? Why is he dead in Calabar? Because no matter how much you try to build an industry, if there is no compensating social life for the people, those industries will die. But how do you make sure that that industry keep thriving? Even if it's a social industry, you must give the people the sense of security that they can be anywhere at any time of the day and that they will be safe. And how did Tinubu was able to achieve that in Lagos? He partnered with the Nigerian police force. When he took over in Lagos, there was a series of robberies. And then he partnered with them. He started buying trucks, armored vehicles, parked at strategic locations within Lagos to give people the sense of security. If you're approaching the Third Mainland Bridge from the Ifako axis, you will see one of them parked just around the Oworoshoki houses. It gives you a sense of security that I can go through the Third Mainland Bridge and I'll be fine. You know, and this he did in Lagos. Companies that used to have a one shift where people resume at maybe 8 o'clock and they close around 5 because of fear of being attacked and all those stuff. They now start having 2 shifts. Today, people are enjoying it. As an entertainer, we do our show from night till morning. We are not having incidences. And Fashola took it a step further to introduce the Lagos State Securities Trust Fund. Today, people are benefiting from it. Yes. Whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, as an entertainer, you benefit from it. Tinubu managed the most diverse government in Nigeria. Today in Lagos State, the same Lagos State that people talk about, today, that same Lagos State, an Igbo man can contest election for chairman, can contest election as councillor. No other state in Nigeria can that happen. None. If there is any state where it can happen, let them come and show me where it has happened before.
Okay.
None. The people will be very quick to say Lagos is a no man's land. It's a no man's land. Are you stupid? How dare you insult the history of the people that created that were bettered in a place? How dare you? How do you think it will feel if I walk to your state and I say this state is a no man's land? What insult! We must shun tribalism, but don't insult the integrity of the people who founded a place. And that is why history is very important. That is why a stupid white man can leave his country and said he discovered River Niger, a place where my forefathers have been fishing before he was born. No wonder mosquito killed Mogo Park.
Thank you so much, honestly.
No, we need to understand it. There was a time that Bola Ahmed Tinubu came, when he became governor of Lagos State. There were children that had serious leg defects that were operated on. There were times that there have been health campaign and a surgery being given within Lagos State. And then they discovered that a lot of the people that were coming in to be beneficiary of those health facilities were coming from southern eastern states.
Still, even now.
In Lagos.
Yeah.
What if Lagos State decide that you are not paying tax, you are not registered, you are not a registered resident of the state, and they should not treat them? They will say Tinubu is being tribalistic.
Even now.
Today, we talk about Jiggy Bola.
Yes.
Are people blind to the fact that this thing happened? Like you asked us not to talk about it? Even if you have a preferred candidate, are these things not evidence? And you are telling me not to talk about it? I have never made a post on my page and say vote Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I have never said it. But I said he's my candidate. Why are you so angry?
Hold on, sir.
And
you know that
will talk, sorry, let me quickly say something. People will talk about the fact that when you say Bola Ahmed Tinubu increased Lagos internally generated revenue from 600 million to over 5 billion before he left, people are very quick to say, what do you mean? There is no entertainer that never benefited from the partnership of the federal inland revenue when Babatunde Fowler was there to help promote and propagate the good work of our internally generated revenue, where we showcase what they do at our shows to help stabilize the entertainment industry and also give people the foresight of what our monies are being used for. Why do we pretend over these things like these things never happened? If what I'm saying is lie, can you bring a record that he has lied? Today, other states, even Peter Obi, return missionary schools back to the missionary schools. Somebody started it. Somebody started it. Bola Ahmed Tinubu did it. You saw it. Can Obi come and say that is a lie?
Sir, Chris Ngige, the former governor, did it before Peter Obi in Anambra State. They don't talk about it. I'll repeat it again. Chris Ngige was the one that started returning schools to missionaries in Anambra State.
They will say that or do you expect me to open my eyes and go and vote for a man who sold a 3.5 billion naira aluminium company for 213 million?
Dollars, sir.
Yes.
Dollars, not naira. Dollars. Said naira, dollars.
$3.5 billion. And now sold it for 213 million. You want me to vote for that man?
Borrowed money.
And then you want me to go and vote for a man who does not have a lasting policy that can be pointed to in his states? A man whose time was marred with court dates here and there. For me to vote that same man to go national, and then he start having issues with the National House of Assembly, going to court today, and then another 4 years is wasted. Please, now, you have your reasons. And I've always said something. I say it plain, and I say it all the time. I say it very simply. My love for Nigeria is the reason why I chose my candidate. If you don't believe it, I only say a prayer that God, let the man who will do Nigeria well become our next president. If my candidate will not benefit Nigeria, let him not win. I say it clearly.
Yes.
If my candidate will not benefit Nigeria, let him not win. But if his record will make him benefit Nigeria, please, let him become our next president. I believe so much in him. I believe in his antecedent. I saw it. Nobody told me. I saw it. It was a dream for me that I learned several spellings because I wanted to win the spelling bee in Lagos so that I can become the governor for a day. But it was never possible when I was in secondary school. But today, we've seen children who won that spelling bee debate become governor for a day, giving them a sense of governance. A sense of governance. Giving the less privileged the hope that one day they can become something. The national youth leader of APC today was my classmate in secondary school. Honorable Dayo Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you for a fact, they used to live in Osholake. We were poor, but their own Dayo, it was poverty. But that young man, having met Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, improved his life. And today, that your Israel's contribution to the primary education in Lagos State through Superb cannot be understated. Giving a common man the hope that he can become something. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu made it possible. I have witnessed it, I have lived it, and I'm hoping that some of his policies will go national and help Nigeria become better. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm clapping for you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. You put a face, a human face. You put a human face to everything that we've been talking about on the policy-wise. And, you know, it was quite touching when you were talking about education. Because, you know, when we had to talk about this on Daddy Freeze, I did the education segment. Unfortunately, there's so much noise that you can't get to a lot of things. You know, for somebody, our society doesn't really put too much value on education for kids with disability. And one thing that I found very impressive with Asiwaju when I was reading things he did, I lived in Lagos and I knew this, but you know, you forget this. This was something 20 years ago. You don't even remember it. And then you go back and you look at it. And this was somebody that not only give value to education for we that we are complete, but to kids that they need something to read. They need their brown books for the ones that don't have sight. They need something for the ones that have hearing problems. And kids with disability, they were also included. No child was left behind. They were given opportunities to be whatever they want to be in life. That is kind of leader you want when you're talking about education. Somebody that could think in 20 years ago, think that, okay, how can we make education accessible to other people that cannot afford it? For someone like Dio Israel that you just mentioned, I wasn't poor. We were not billionaires, but we were not poor. I always say this, that I wasn't poor. But, you know, there were other kids out there that really wanted to go to school, but even just ordinary meal, 1 meal a day, they couldn't go because of that. So many kids have been left out there. But Ashiwaju's administration partnered with Cadbury, with Nestle to provide milk, all this breakfast. As a matter of fact, my cousin actually won Cadbury competition then. She was actually one of their first set of people that Cadbury took to UK. Little kids, they were 5, 6 years old. They went there. They didn't pay anybody. They won this thing. They played because these were the programs then that all these organizations have. They were willing because it was part of their... Yes. It was part of their corporate social responsibilities to do these things, and they did it willingly. This person had the foresight for things that we are clamoring for now. 20 years ago, this person thought about it. And he didn't just think about it. You mentioned something about people management. There's a difference between being a leader of something and being a visionary leader that your team can actually see the vision with you. They can go through the journey with you. When you were telling us a story, all this stuff that you were saying, I see it as a story, not as you saying what Ashiwaju did. I was looking at it from prism of you're telling me a story, and it's a journey that we have to follow through. And it was quite impressive that I actually can pay attention, because you can actually connect with people when you make it a story that they can connect to, you know. So when I'm thinking of Ashiwaju, I'm thinking of him as a leader doesn't need to push people to do something. People just want to do it because they can see the vision with him. And that's why whatever policy he put in place is sustainable. The people that came after him can sustain it and build on it. And we need somebody like that on a federal level that can set us on the right path and give Nigerians as a whole an opportunity. Of course, we cannot transfer everything that worked in Lagos and transfer it everywhere. We will have to tweak it because we have to consider religious and cultural differences also in certain areas. But this man, I just don't see anybody running right now that can do it. And that's what drives me when I'm talking about Ashiwaju, because I lived through Lagos pre-Ashiwaju and post-Ashiwaju. I lived through that man. I'm not just talking about it because I read it somewhere. I lived in Lagos. I know what Lagos, I know the bodies you see on the streets of Lagos. I know how you talked about Molwe. I have been assaulted on the bus of Molwe. You are a girl, you are in the bus in Molwe, you have a man standing behind you. His thing was standing. You were being assaulted. Simple as ABC. That is the Lagos I lived like that I grew up in. That is the truth. That is what happened. People die trying to get on ordinary bus because now you can catwalk and get on the BRT and do all this stuff. You know, these things were not there. You know, when you were talking about real estate, I went too quickly because I told Bongoli, why didn't you tell me? I would have given you all the data. Like, I was looking at Lagos State property value. Right now, Lagos State property value moves so fast than any other area in Nigeria at a minimum of 15% growth rate per annum. And in the VI axis is about 4.5% combined annual growth rate on the minimum. Somebody worked for that. If VI then, I said my dad's office was Stallion House, and I'm glad that you mentioned the glass house because that glass house, you know, the whole of VI, all those areas, no, it wasn't about it, all the rich people were even moving out because the water was destroying their properties. Even the government offices there, nobody can go to work when they have this flooding. But somebody had the foresight, had the right team that can think with him, that can help him achieve this. We don't need a micromanager. We don't need somebody that wants to save. It's not about saving. There's no essence in saving when I have women dying at childbirth. There's no essence in saving when I have little kids that cannot go to school. They cannot even afford common school uniform or a school bag. There's no essence in saving.
Forget that Tinubu did all those things without the federal allocation.
We doubt it. Right? You know, when people are saying, oh, we have debt. No, we don't have a debt crisis. We have a revenue crisis. And who out of all of these people actually have the capacity that's shown us in the past that they can generate revenue?
I'm even sorry to cut you. You see, when they talk about debt crisis, do you know that the total debt of Africa is just 9% of Africa's GDP?
Yes.
That people are talking about today, their total debt is 87% of their GDP.
Now let me even go a step further.
Pay off the full of Africa's debt. Only 2 countries in Africa can do it.
Yeah, and sir, in the US also, the total GDP of the United States is 26 trillion US dollars. The United States is owing a debt of 30 trillion US dollars.
Once they hit the US state, the US has a peak of 31 trillion. And before the end of this year, they are going to get there.
Yes. Yes. Especially since we went into this COVID and everything.
Do people even know that? Yeah, they compare Nigeria. They say they want it to be like the US. Any country in the world that is less safer than the United States.
It's laughable. It's insincere. And that is where the electorates themselves need to learn a little bit, or not to, they need to educate themselves and get their information from reliable sources. Come on, we always, you know, I told Bongoli, I said, Nigerians fall my hand though, like this election period, because I'm always bragging and saying, we are the most.
We much on the surface. That is the problem with Nigeria. They only do with surface news. We don't go deep to research things for ourselves.
We don't. I always brag there. I will be like, Nigerians, we are the most educated in Africa. We have this. They just fall my hand, Yakata, with this election. Because it just shows that people can't use their... No, I will say it though. With their phone, we have the... You know, our youth are actually the most tech savvy when you're talking about youths in Africa. But the fact is, you have this phone and you have something called Google, IFA, Oracle, that you can just type something in there and can take you to IMF, WHO, World Bank, all this, even Nigerian Bureau of Statistics and all this stuff, CBN website, you can get information there. And you don't. And you're waiting for some blogger to write something, to screenshot stuff. I feel like that is quite unintelligent. And it doesn't
see. Mama,
it's bad now.
Let me tell you something. Sorry to break you. You see?
Yes, sir.
I said something. I was on One Life one day. I said our phones are becoming smarter and the people are becoming more dull. No excuse to anybody.
I agree.
You can tell us that we are tech savvy because we know how to operate gadgets and all those stuff. But if we don't use it for the right reason, we will just dwell and live under conspiracy theorists and live their stupidity. Whether you like it or not, one of the things that I've always told people, well, this is saying I live abroad. You see, one of the things that Tinubu did, I remember the only local government that was servicing almost the whole of Ireland was the TSA local government. And then somebody who needs to do affidavits, who needs to do something, we travel all the way from Aja to go to Obalende, to go to Victoria Land, to go and do affidavit. Imagine the money you will spend on transport. Just to But today, because of the 37 LCDs that Asiwaju created, governance has become closer to the people. They have become closer to the people. And then somebody can leave VGC and get to the Igbo and he gets the affidavits he wants.
Yes.
But one man, because he's in the federal government, refused to acknowledge and make these local council development areas local government. Lagos is the most populous state in Nigeria.
Of course.
Hate or leave it. you can't use because of landmass and disenfranchise the people from having governors close to them. Chibola Ahmed Tinubu dared them. He went toe to toe with them. If I can't make this thing local government, I'll make them LCDAs because the Constitution permits me.
Yes.
Till date, they are still LCDAs. And don't forget, the people have closer access
Yes.
to local government. Today, even INEC, despite the fact that they are not recognized as local governments, their offices are used as venues to collect and register voters. But somebody make it possible. If the person didn't make it possible, and when you have to go and register to vote is in Etiosa, and you are in VI, and you are living at Sombutedo, a lot of you won't have PVC. Now you are saying you won't use to vote that man today.
Well, before we leave, we have to leave because this is too interesting. But we have to leave. Barrister Bisiriyu, because I noticed something. Because when SEYI Law came in, you tackled him. You are a barrister. Yes, you are a barrister. We're talking about Babish. Can you tell what kind of lawyer are you, or what kind of law? One says we own the bar, or we own the law. One says a barrister. So what do you have to say into all of this? Because, you know, like I always say, you know, I like this conversation because I think this is a grand way of ending our program. Yes. Because we bring professionals, we too are experts in different fields. We talk about the Renewed Hope Manifesto from page 5. When I was on Mariah's show, Mariah was like, you see, you know this manifesto inside your head, everything from top to bottom. Then I had to tell her that we are a team because we've had all of these conversations, and that was why when that man came on, he said when somebody is talking, at times you don't let them talk, you just talk or something. The thing is, I already know what you want to ask me. We've been doing this thing for 6, 7, 8 months now that we've been doing. So I know all the questions you want to ask me. So before you ask me, I just laugh. But the point here is, this is a grand way to just put icing on the cake of what we have done. We're doing so far. And it's like, this is the history from a witness perspective, especially on the island. And this is a case study. Island as a case study. And that's why I was looking at that GDP value of real estate in Nigeria that is now 5.33% as of 2021. And then I know you said, okay, you had the data, our, what's it called, our real estate value is going up by 15%. Actually, on the island, is doing about between 4 and 5% increase year on year.
Yes.
These were places that were inhabitable. Now, there's something in addition to that Lekki Free Trade Zone is going to bring 171,000 jobs and increase revenue of over 200, give Nigeria as a whole a revenue of over $200 billion. Now, do you know that Lagos State is projected, I think, is it by 2030 or something like that, to be the 3rd largest economy in Africa? That means as Lagos State is growing, Nigeria is also growing. Now, why am I saying all of this? You know, today I said we are not going into like details, how we do it and all that stuff, and start, you know, breaking down facts, figures, and critical conversations. I like the history. It's a way to end it. But now I have to go back to Barrister Bisiriyu. You know, anytime we have a conversation, I say we'll talk about all these beautiful things, all these great things, nice ideas. We are the professionals. We are the this, we are the that. But we need to get the policies right. Yes. And that is where you come in. Because you write the policies for us. You are the barrister. You are the one that knows the is it the intonation or the connoting?
Does write something, so it's just that he carries people along when he does his own thing. You know, and a lot of people enjoy that kind of policy when he puts it out there. And I must say that I really appreciate your presence today. I'm meeting you for the very first time, but since I was in Unilag, I've been following your career. You know, you are one of the few ones that actually give jokes that are very intelligent and funny. You know, it comes from an intelligent point of view, and it is more accepted amongst the academicians and other people, you know, intelligent people. So when we see your law, when I was in law school and I see SEYI law, I'm like, is he in law school? They say, no, but he's very sharp, you know, he knows what he's doing. So I'm glad to hear you speak to politics, because not a lot of entertainers can be as eloquent as you have been, and also abstract or infuse a couple of real life experiences into it with examples out there. I believe that Asiwaju is the best candidate in this realm, and I believe that because he has done a lot in the policy side over time, as you have attested to, I think that it will be a lot easier. I believe in habits. I've always said it. I said somebody who has a habit of smoking and he does it over and over again, even if he's sick, if he does not have a cigarette in his hand, he will still do this. He will do this because it's a habit. It's muscle memory, you know. And it's the same with Asiwaju. Is a habit, is a way of life for him to have good administration, for him to pick the right people. You spoke about Diaspora. I met him at Intercontinental Hotel when I came to Nigeria. I met him before he was appointed as APC youth leader. I met him with Commissioner Kabir Ahmed of Lagos State, and we had a good conversation. I didn't even know he was going to be appointed, and you know, very smart man like that. So when you see the kind of people that are around Asiwaju, I now wonder why people think that, you know, he is just going to come in and degrade the problem of Nigeria to another level, or let me say elevate the problem of Nigeria to another level. Because if you have Raji Fashola around you, you have El Rufai around you, you have all these people around you, they say bird of a feather flock together. If he does not have the quality, these people will not stake their reputation and their career around him. It's impossible. Nobody does that. But, you know, you have all these people that say, oh, he's too old and all that. And I say with habits, even if he's sick, he knows the right person to do the job, and they can brief him. I was in the military. When we want to brief, the admiral, you know, I work for a first admiral briefly. He's so intelligent that if we give him a memo sheet, it can tell you, just by looking at it, it will tell you where you have 2 spaces. It will tell you, and it will, so once my boss sees him pick up his green pen, you know, all the other lawyers are in problem, you know, because they know that Admiral is about to start circling. And when he sees something perfect, he looks at it and he says, okay, tell me what is in here. We brief him, he signs. He knows that it's good person, and he puts his name to it. And that is the way efficient institutions are run, with people who actually know what they are doing. They've been doing it for a long time, and they know how best to arrive, and they can sense good plan and good decision making. So I am happy to meet you today. I'm glad you are on the Asiwaju train, and I believe that Nigeria will be better by it. I believe he's going to do it, whether he likes it or not, because it's his habit, he's going to do good. Now, the effect of his good governance may not be apparent so quickly, but it's going to incubate, and it's going to become something that Nigerians will say, thank God we made the decision to pick this man. And I believe it's going to happen on Saturday. It's nice meeting you, sir. I hope we meet in Nigeria.
Thank you. But before we go, there's a point that you made, Barrister Bisiri. Leadership and all of that, something that happened, you know, at your job, you know. What people need to realize is that as a leader, your job to your subordinates is to ensure that they have all the tools to succeed.
Yes.
You are not the one doing the job. In fact, to some people that have read this book called The Art of Us on You, and I use that as one of my policies, guidance policies. He said,
copy here.
Okay, the art of war. So on you, the art of war. He says you want to have 4 types of people. So I now use that as a leader employing people at a job. Firstly, you want to have the generals. No, you want to have the intellectuals, the people that you don't see, the people that bring the strategy of the war. They sit down in a room. This is how we are going to attack these people. This is how we are going to attack that people. This is how we are going to defend. Then the second set of people you have are the generals. Those are the enforcers. The intellectuals have sat down and have given this is how we are going to go about it. So the boss, hey, generals, this is what we are going to do. The third set of people are the lazy people, covetous people. You need them. And they'll be like, why? Those ones, they don't want to think with their brain too much. They are looking for shortcuts. So if you want to go and fight that war, instead of you walking 10 kilometers, well, if you cross this water now, go catch them for back. Now, those lazy ones, that's why at times you wonder as your job, this person doesn't work, he doesn't do anything. Why is he still working here? That one now will now pass that information across generals to intellectuals. Then you have more intellectualism going on, more problem solving going on. Then the last but not least are the foot soldiers, the people that will actually do the job. And when I look at Ashwaju, I see all of this in him. A friend of mine is on this live now. We talk, I'll say maybe once in 3 days. He sent me a video. And in that video, he was talking about delegation. A good leader must know how to delegate. A good leader must even be the least smart person in the room.
Yep.
Because you have to be able to listen to others.
You must be the good leader has to be the least smart person in the room. So you have a room filled with intellectuals. But you know how to manage human beings, because I'm an engineer. And as an engineer, this is what a senior engineer told me in my second year. He called me by my government name. I'll not call my government name here. Call me by my government name. He said, sit down. He said, my government name, you see, I used to work as the operations manager, but I ran back from that job. I couldn't do it. Then I came back and was just doing my engineering as an individual contributor. I said, why? He said, the reason is, with what I'm doing now, with machines, I know how machines behave. And when a machine is faulty, I know what to do to fix it. But not with human beings. You don't know how to fix human beings or work with human beings. So now, there's a man that is proven, that has worked and that is working with the most diverse amount of Nigerians. All the tribes in Nigeria are in Lagos State Service, civil service. All the tribes in Nigeria.
From almost all the states.
What
federal quota in Lagos State.
Yeah.
From almost all the states.
Yes, all the states, yes. And these people have gone up to start serving at federal. For example, Ben Akabuezi is a debt management office boss. Joey Bokwe, don't tell anybody this secret. I'm about to tell you a secret too. Last month, some people came from Anambra State. They are, what's it called, waste management. They came to Lagos on a course to come and learn how Lagos manages their waste. So they met Joey because he's a senior special advisor or assistant, special advisor on drainage and all of those things in Lagos. Those are, and again, don't tell anybody this and that secret too. Governor Soludo, I think it was last month, he removed all the billboard of Labour Party. He said they are not paying. They don't have money. Why would they go and be posting billboard everywhere and they did not pay? Then do you know the agency that removed it? The agency is called ANSAA, Anambra State Signage and Advert Agency.
Copied from
who initiated federal agency.
Copied from Lagos.
He said I should do like this. She knows I should do like this. She knows I should do. I will talk. I will talk. I will talk. I will talk.
They are stealing our policies.
I will talk. I will talk. Let me know. You will not shut me up. I will talk. That came from. So that is the typical example. That came from Lagos State Signage and Advert Agency. Asiwaju brought it so that you can improve the revenue of the local government or local council development areas. Because if you look at Nigeria's constitution, Schedule 4, the local government are in charge of adverts and billboards. So what Asiwaju was doing is, I'm looking at the constitution, state government and local government. How can I make money out of these people?
Yes.
No, how can I make money? Not make money like exploiting, no. Look at what happened at the NESG conference. When they asked Baba, they said, hey, we are borrowing money. How are you going to raise revenue? Because they say he has amnesia. He said a teleprompter. They say they gave him the questions beforehand. So if he has amnesia, he's using teleprompter. They gave him questions. How was it that he was able to sit down with this woman one-on-one? And it was like he was writing anything, but he had his notepad, fine, you know. But it was not like he was writing anything or reading anything or knows any question. He engaged that woman for almost an hour. And then they asked him. He said, firstly, I'll remove fuel subsidy. That already I've saved about maybe 7 to 8 billion. Trillion.
Trillion.
Yeah, 7 to 8 trillion. Wow. Because right now, the landing cost of a liter, when I did the math, it's about 290 to 300 naira per liter. Because right now, the landing cost is $2.4 per gallon. So there's a way I do the math. I know I have the template and all of that stuff. It's my field. So look at that, for example. It says, secondly, round tripping, currency round tripping. Let me repeat it again. Currency round tripping. You go and meet federal government. Yeah, arbitrage. You go and meet federal government that you want to collect dollars. You are collecting dollars at 455 interbank rate, 455, 461. When you take it out, you go and trade it at 750. So let me say 450, 750. So when you do your business and your dealings, you are doing it at 750. Then when you want to return that money back to federal government, you give federal government that money back at 450 naira to $1. Federal government has lost $300 naira to $1. 300 naira per dollar that they are giving you as revenue. So that in itself already, 300 divided by 450, that's like 66.67% of revenue that can jump up from that. Or let's say, okay, you try to normalize that, maybe like 40 to 50%. That is humongous. Then thirdly, something I've never heard before in my life, because I had to call that my friend that is an accountant. It's an accountant, whatever it is. Asiwaju said, I'm looking at, when you bring foreign investors and everything, he talked about deferred taxes, discounting. This one is not like you can read this one. This one is high-level thinking. Me, Ayo, I have to call somebody like, hey, like, I understand it this way. How does this thing work? I have to call an accountant. For him to say he did not understand it, that you have to go and do some research. And just on the spot, he said defer taxes, discount defer taxes, then increase, expand your revenue base. It's simple. You bring an investor into the country, their taxes, you defer it. 5 years. You discount it. Then when you discount it, you're not going to get somebody that come and buy it, like you are buying it. So that 15% that you deferred there, you calculate it that, okay, in 5 years, this is the amount of taxes this person will pay. They are going to pay 100 million naira, for example. In the 5 years, this is how much you're supposed to pay. Then I got that 100 million, I'll now say, okay, you pay 85 million because I need the money now. So I'll go and bring somebody that is an investor that is willing to pay 85 million naira to me. Me, I've collected the money already to do whatever I want to do. So you, as investor, your interest, your profit is that 15 million naira additional. I've never had that kind of. I've never had that kind. And he said
they do that.
And
they do
said,
that now. Actually,
you know what he said? He said, I don't want to leak so much of my secret. They will copy me. I'm the first to come here.
Wow,
yeah, because we don't do the discount now, but we do the deferred taxes now. We have it for three years, depending on the business, between 3 and 5 years deferred taxes. We do that on certain investments, not all investment. But from what Baba is saying, is more of opening it to more industry covered, more investors, and then of course the industries that are not covered will benefit from the discounted part of it, which is actually very brilliant, because we all know that startups can take up to 5 years before they start making profit. So that is something that is very important. And that the old bracket improvement, like he said we are going to expand our tax base, not necessarily increase our tax. We are not increasing the tax, we're just expanding it. We need to, we've even talked about this on our own in our forum, that we need to find an incentives to bring a lot more people in Nigeria into our tax system.
Bracket.
Yes. Maybe we can always give incentive and say, okay, if your net is less than 5 million, you only pay 2% or 1%. So that way, that will encourage more people to want to do it, instead of doing blanket rate of 30% corporate tax. So those are the kind of things that will be exploited. Anyway, I believe.
Oh yeah. I don't want to get you started.
Okay, I'll shut up.
I'm sorry. I get us started.
Right now.
You have to go now. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you very much for your time. Let me back us more. Thank you. I appreciate you too much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. Bye-bye, sir. Now, let me bash you. Bye-bye. Okay, as he left, let me get you out. So let's go. All right. All right. Now, let me bash you. Because we have... Wait, we had a celebrity, so I could not bash you in front of celebrity. Now let me bash you. And I just thought small, you just started going. No, today was going. Today was supposed to laugh, chill, and everything. But I promised one person, I don't know if he's still here, Neyo Skies. I promised to bring him back.
Please.
Hold on. Neyo Skies, are you here? Please let us tag Neyo Skies, so make fight me. Make for Neyo Skies. Please tag Neyo Skies, everyone, please. I beg you. I can't find him here. He may be sleeping now. Neyo Skies, where are you? I called you.
He's in Ireland, right? It's probably
sleeping.
Yeah, he's in Ireland.
Yeah, it's late right now. So
okay. Well, all right. Well, thank you all very much. I didn't envision or envisage that we're going to pitch the plan series. And guys, pitch the plan. The idea came from Amatuzi. I mean the name. Okay. Pitch the plan.
Yeah.
The whole idea came from our Diaspora Directorate. I want to recognize him. That is Prince Adeomole. Okay. I've had the opportunity of meeting him in Atlanta in one of our conferences. He's been everywhere. Just yesterday, he was in Cotonou, Benin Republic. They filled up a whole stadium. Shouting Ashwaju Jagaban in Benin Republic. And he's always, today is in Amsterdam, tomorrow is in Chicago, next tomorrow is in London, is in South Africa. Like from the little time I've known him or seen posters and everything, it's all around the world. Like he's in Togo, Ivory Coast, and all of that stuff. So I want to thank him very much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.
I want to thank Barrister. I think maybe he's missed. Is it missed one episode or he has never missed an episode? No, I think he missed healthcare.
Okay,
I think it was healthcare. Yeah. Maybe they beat Arsenal. No, the Arsenal played draw that day. I don't know.
Please don't go there.
Maybe Arsenal played draw that day. I don't know. They beat Arsenal. I can't remember. But I think so. I want to thank you, Mama Tuzi. I know there were times you were not feeling like you were strong in the flesh. and you were not able to join us. I know during your birthday period also, it's like, you know what, lady, you are doing birthday, just relax, enjoy yourself, you know. So I want to thank you. I want to thank all our team members, everybody that you are seeing here. This is not the team. We are like almost 20. We have meetings, conversations, we talk and everything, research and everything. So it is not just, we are just the face. We have a lot of people working on the background. I want to thank everyone very much. And I want to thank myself too.
You should. You should thank yourself.
I did not miss anyone.
You did not miss anyone. You were steadfast.
And let me even talk. I just finished a 1.5 hour session with Murayo of TVC.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
Immediately I switched to this one. Thank you. And to all of now here go get high blood pressure. The better days 1989. I would not wish that back to you, because I wish the best for you. I know that you're speaking from a place of anger and emotions. How I wish that you can use that anger and emotion to vote for the right candidate. I wish you can use that anger and emotion to convince people about your candidate. Because one thing you need to realize is elections are a game of numbers. If someone doesn't support you, you try as much as possible to get that person on your side. It is not about resorting to insults. Insults will not get you anywhere. By God's grace, will not get you anywhere. Because the same God you are calling, if it's the creator, maybe, because I'm also calling creator, the same God that I'm calling also. And I don't think anyone here on our platform has ever told you that on this platform that vote for Asiwaju. I have never said it before. Nobody has said it here, because that is your constitutional right to vote and be voted for. You also have the constitutional right of freedom of association to join and or support a party, a political party in Nigeria. And I think SEYI Law has already given us a response. Whenever they say you're abroad, me, I will add another one. If I'm contributing at least $20 billion US as diaspora remittance, I have every right in the world about what's going on in Nigeria. I have every right. If I'm sending at least 20 billion during COVID, I sent at least $20 billion home during COVID. I contributed to it. So you can never tell me not to talk about Nigeria. And also, your principal that you are supporting, they say he live in abroad for donkey years.
Where are his kids? Are they in Nigeria?
I know his son is in Hollywood. They do film.
Why you not come Nigeria?
This one is in Hollywood. He's not living in Nigeria. And he himself did not live in Nigeria for his span. So, you know, take your bitterness, your anger, your hurt, your hate, take that to the polling units and go and vote there. So don't, you know.
And let me just say this last thing. Nigeria has not been easy for anybody, but we all know who raised us, the family we came from. Because I've had people say, well, it's not your fault, it's your father this thing. And I said, well, that's because my father had a brain to plan well and not have more than he can take care of. So don't hate, like Asiwaju will say, are you enemy of wealth? Don't fault somebody that is successful. It's not their problem that your own parents are not successful. He didn't send them to not be. When other people are actually working hard, don't hate me for working hard. I'm not saying that is your fault, but maybe check yourself too and see what you're doing. Before you ask what Nigeria wants to do for you, like JFK will say, ask what you can do for your country, not what your country can do for you. We need to ask ourselves, we are here, like we've said before when we started this, that we are doing it because we are passionate about Nigeria, because we want the best for Nigeria. That's why we are putting all our effort and everything. Bongo leader you cuss out every day and you send messages to, is doing things in his community in Nigeria. Bongo is not even in Nigeria. He sends stuff. He empowers people. There's one of our team, Dr. Toyin. She actually does women empowerment. She's empowered a lot of women. So before you open your raggedy mouth to talk about stuff and abuse people here, maybe you need to learn about every one of us here. what we actually do to impact people's life. Lawyer Sheyi that you see here, he spent millions of naira to empower people that are not his family member, that he doesn't know. But they pitched a business to him. He found it intelligent. He invested in it. And even when they made mistake, he didn't chase them away or arrest them with police officers. He actually helped them see, okay, how can we make it work? What are the things you're doing that you're not doing right? So you need to use your own brain. Stop thinking like people that are unintelligent. I really, really believe that our society is not made up of ignorant buffoons. Let me put it that way.
They are not becoming real violent. I don't think we should spend
yes,
time
this is my own last laugh. So I'm going to go there. This is my last laugh. Because all that so all that sliding into my DM and be saying this thing. Like Bongoli said, you call God. Me say if I call God. My own God they sleep. My God no they sleep now. So when you said something about God will do this thing, my own God, you did say my God now Wakanda God, you go just slap your God. Wakanda forever. So your own the Mayan one. You go, my God will break the wings of your leg, of the leg of your own God. So anyway, just so please, election is coming up. Go out there, vote. Please vote for who you think would do good for Nigeria. We all love this nation called Nigeria. Me, I don't have another home. Like I said, I'm an American citizen. I'm not going to deny it. But like Bongoli said, if I'm part of the people contributing 20 billion annually to Nigeria's economy, dollars, Nigeria economy, and I have business registered in Nigeria, and I have families in Nigeria, I have every right as a Nigerian citizen to contribute to the progress, to the discourse about that nation. And no one born of man or woman, whatever, or mami water, like Shei's law said, can deny me that right, that voice. We cannot be silenced. We were silenced pre-1999. 1999, people like Ashiwaju, like Bolage, like Wole Soyinka, all those people, they fought for that shackle to be broken, for us not to be silenced. We refuse to be silenced. We are not going to be bullied. You can continue to do your bully online. Let it stay online. You know, when you're sitting behind the keyboard, it's easy to type things and say things about people. That's fine. Keep it there. Just don't go out there to go and talk anything. You know, no, not everybody is nice like Bongoli. They might just suffer you.
I'm nice. It was the meaning of that. I know how to receive insults. I know how to, I don't react.
Just say
there's nothing you tell me that will faze me.
God bless you all.
Looking at you.
Nigeria will be better.
Thank you very much.
God bless
it was a nice
Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The 13 weeks, it was so beautiful.
Yeah,
and after the elections,
I enjoyed it, and I'm glad to be amongst you guys. It's a pleasure, and I hope we will continue our linking. And I'm sorry I couldn't come to your birthday.
Absolutely.
It's okay if you don't come. Just say money. Money is what I want.
You get it. I said it.
Woman and money, money and woman. Woman and money and woman.
They will still collect your own small change. They will collect.
Bye. Let's get it like that.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.